And welcome back. So today on the episode, we have one of our amazing, wonderful clients, Beth. Um, I'm going to premise this by saying you've probably seen her all over our socials. She's done an amazing transformation. She started with us, I believe. Now, I'm going to say at the start of 2024. Am I correct, Beth?
Well, I was thinking about it. I think I first made contact with you beginning of September 2 years ago. So we're just short of 2 years.
So kind of like just end of 2023, 2024. So she's had amazing transformation. Really, what this podcast is about is what I want you to get from it is what I was saying to Beth before is a little bit of a understanding of the process and also the understanding, because I think when you see a lot of stuff through social media, you just see the end product, really. You don't see what they've been through, how they started. And Beth is a classic example of someone who started potentially not even believing that she could do it. But fast forward now, 2 years on, she's on goal number 3 for a beautiful trip away in November.
Mm-hmm.
And she has continually progressed from pretty much day one. And we're going to be speaking today about when things clicked, what's really changed for her, and how she felt before stepping in, the nerves, the apprehension, all this kind of stuff. So, Beth, first of all, welcome. Just maybe a little bit of a brief introduction, where you live, dogs, family.
All off, yes. So I live in Shrewsbury currently, but my husband is in the military, so we've moved around the country a little bit. So I'm at home with 2 dogs at the moment. I've got 3 children. 2 of them are in London, and one of them is in the Isles of Scilly. So she's down there training to be a paramedic. So I found myself with some time on my hands a couple of years ago. So.
And just throw back to then as well. I mean, you were working not full time then, but you were doing shift work back then, right?
Yeah. So I think it was full time. So we'd moved house. Oh, yeah. We'd moved to Shrewsbury. So we'd had that sort of upheaval again, and obviously a new job, and it was very intense. It was hospitality, as hospitality jobs are, but it was full time. I was manager. Stressful getting it back up on its feet, having sort of slightly been failing, and then just so many issues along the way with staffing and sickness. And as a manager, you would jump in and out. So you'd be, I'd be the one sort of getting a phone call at 6, can't make it for the shift. So off I trot, taking it all on. So I sort of was managing that for about a year before, joining TB Community.
And here we are today. So, Beth, I want you to throw back. I mean, obviously now you've been with us for, just shy of, let's just say 2 years.
Yeah.
Just shy of 2 years. But I want you to throw back to where you were before, how you felt. I really want you to kind of get back to the person, not so much back to the person, but, it's potentially like now creating this new kind of identity. You may have forgotten how you felt back then, but I just want to kind of like flash back because I really want the audience to get an understanding of what was going on for you back then. So I think the first question I want to ask is, what was the moment? There's normally a build-up, but then there's often a moment that makes you want to reach out for help. So I want to know what that was. So at what point did it get bad enough to say, I put my hand up, I need some help?
Okay, so we'd moved house. I was doing this job that I wasn't enjoying, very stressful. I was overweight probably by about 20 kilograms as to what I am now. So, in frumpy outfits, very sort of motherly. I'd be visiting the kids in London and I'd find myself looking for a handrail to go down steps. And, sort of being very sort of anxious about taking a step down, the escalator. I was thinking, I'm 58, this isn't right. And being so sort of, not enjoying the way I was looking. I didn't think I should be so overweight and all this. So we were on holiday, so 2 years ago in September, and this is where I've got the tissue ready. So I'm overweight. I'm in a dress. a frumpy dress. Kids are all having fun and we're all enjoying the holiday, but I'm still not happy. So all the circumstances with, doubting myself with steps and, sort of stressful job. The trigger was, so I'd been following you also. I'd been following you for a couple of years probably, and shall I, shan't I, and having all these reasons why not to, and da da da. And then I'd lost my dog, hence the tissue. So I'm on holiday, grieving, feeling overweight, frumpy, very sad, upset. They'd all gone off for the day, for the evening actually, off on a boat, and they were, that's fine because I wanted to be on my own, and off they went. And so I was on Instagram and I just thought, right, I'm going to do it, and pressed, whatever it was I did. Was it help at the time or something, to contact you via Instagram? And the heart was going and I screamed and I threw the phone down and thought, oh God, I've done it, because it was quite a big achievement just to even get in touch. So I did that, as I say, and threw the phone down. Oh God, I've done it. Oh God, and what now? But it was that sort of sitting on the sunbed. I remember exactly how it all happened. I just thought, I'm so fed up. I'm so sad. I need to do something. And this is it now. So that was it. That was how it happened.
I want to ask you a slightly deeper question on that. What were you feeling in your body at that time?
The sadness was, and the grief was sort of overwhelming, but I suppose as soon as I did it, it was the adrenaline was pumping, and I was anxious, panicky, but relieved. I'd done something. It was that sort of relief. Right, this is it. This might be it. This is the new me. But there was so many emotions going on. There was everything that was just there. And then they all came back off the boat and went, oh, I've just messaged somebody. It's pathetic, isn't it? But, if you're not sort of, social, I mean, I'm on social media, but, it was a big thing to actually message you. Help.
Yeah. And just a question on that in terms of your family. Like, do you feel like they noticed obviously you were grieving and you were all grieving for your dog? I remember the first call when you burst out in tears when we started talking about
I know, mad. It's not mad.
Yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday. But what I want to ask, Beth, is like, it wasn't just an overnight thing where the weight kind of crept on. That 20 kgs probably came on slowly over time, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of got to that point, I'm sure, where you was just like, emotions kind of all amalgamated, and that was the action, that was the trigger to kind of reach out for help. But do you feel like your family, especially Andy, noticed these things, noticed a change in yourself, noticed a change in, how you'd interact with family and stuff like that? Do you feel like that was a thing leading into, you reaching out and asking for help?
I think they could probably all see it. They were a fit family, so they've always done something. I've always encouraged them to do sport, and it's not like I haven't been to the gym in the past. I mean, I've never followed a program as such, but I would do my bit, in between children, and then in between jobs, and then in between moving house. So it was sort of up and down, but I suppose the weight just crept on. But you see, they love me whatever, so they love me in the large state, because so it was no incentive from them to say, oh Mom, you're a bit overweight, or for Andrew to go, Beth, you've been lighter, or whatever, because they continually told me they like me cuddly. They sort of almost don't like me slim because there's nothing to cuddle into. They like squidgy Mom. They do like it, because they're proud of me. They're thrilled for me. And the same with Andrew. He would never have said you need to do it. It was me finding it. I had to do it for me. So it was that time that sort of it was for me. If that answers the question. 100%. Yeah,
it does. But that's it. It is always going to come from you. And sometimes when a lot of the times when you get that external feedback, it doesn't work as well. Normally people go, into their own cells. Like, it brings up their defensive mechanisms. It's never really good. It's got to be a want from within you, which it was.
Yeah.
And that was the time when you kind of picked up. But you must have kind of felt yourself, as you said, you were noticing that your life at that time, with the extra weight and kind of how you're feeling yourself, was not optimal. Like, you wanted to make that change.
Yeah, it wasn't me. Yeah, it wasn't me. I didn't. When you look in the mirror, you sort of do a double take that is that me? And I'm like, and you're dressing differently, and everything's sort of covering everything up, and yeah, it just wasn't me when I looked in the mirror. But it was trying to manage the job, the house, the kids, the dogs, everything, and then it was the weight just sort of just over a Christmas there was a few pounds there, then we went on holiday and there's a few pounds there, and then all of a sudden there's a few stones, and it just amalgamated, and you almost make excuses for yourself. It's never a right time, is there? There's never a right time to start, and you've just got to do it. You just got to. And yes, my trigger probably was the dog and the desperate sadness, but and it's bizarre that he was the trigger, but he was.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head when you said, in terms of, like, it's often, it does kind of creep up, and often the times when it creeps up, it's down to trips away, Christmas, festivals, stuff like that. It's not about the weight massively creeps up, but the weight, you put on 2 or 3 pounds over Christmas, then you don't get it off. You just stabilize. Then another birthday, another 2-3 pounds, another holiday, 3-4 pounds. It just starts to creep up during those events where we're not really controlling our nutrition. And for example, we may be emotionally eating and snacking, alcohol starts to come in, and then it gets to the point where, a year down the line, 2 years down the line, you realize, like yourself, that you're in a position that you really don't want to be. So let's flip directly in terms of how you felt after the initial transformation and how you feel now, Beth. Like, going back to that person, going back to that woman, 58 years old, on the bed, families out enjoying themselves, lost probably one of the love of your lives.
Yes.
Sitting on the bed,
Yeah.
reaching out for help, probably with a bit of apprehension, but also a kind of internal fire that I've actually finally made this. Let's flash back to where you are now. What has changed? And through the process, what have been your absolute standout biggest wins?
So absolutely everything has changed. My confidence, my persona, my happiness, my figure. My love of life. I mean, I'm sort of alive again. I mean, if that's it, I've just got that sort of brain function as well, that I'm sort of looking for things, almost twitching to sort of find something to think about or do. I don't like to be still. I want to be moving. I can't almost stand still. It's that energy that's sort of given me. I'll do everything and anything, and the kids don't do anything without me. Sport wise, I'll be on the volleyball pitch with them on a holiday, or it's just everything. Everything has changed. It's probably one of the happiest times I've been throughout my life at the moment.
That is incredible.
It is absolutely incredible.
Couldn't have asked for a better response. Do you feel like it's positively impacted your relationships? I'm not just talking your personal relationships, like friends, family, how you show up with friends, how you turn up at work.
Yeah, all of it. So, I mean, Andrew's happy that I'm happy, so he's ecstatic that we're happy. The kids love it, and they love me being their fit mom. So that's great. And then I suppose at work I've got this sort of inner confidence, so I don't need to portray or try to be anything else other than me. So it's not. I'm not here to sort of say flaunt the physique. I'll wear big baggy sweatshirts and trousers and fit in, but sort of I don't know. Underneath, I've got the confidence that my legs feel strong. I lean on something and I feel a muscle. Oh, I've just lost my backside. All of that it doesn't need to be flaunted. I just know within myself, I feel great and probably look great for my age. So yeah.
You look fantastic for your age. You look fantastic for 10 years younger. You look fantastic. Just overall fantastic. I've got to throw this in, Beth, because this morning Beth sent us probably one of her first video check-ins. I hope you don't mind me bringing this up.
Yeah, no,
And it was so positive. It wasn't one of the ones that I don't like this, I don't like this. It's like, I like this, I like this, I can see this, I can see this. Like it just honestly, and I'm not just saying this to make it sound good on the podcast, but the transition from the first person I spoke to in the initial weeks in the program to this person now sending me video check-ins saying she wants to improve in these areas and start to notice those smallest little parts in terms of her physique, where the body fat has come on, the lean muscle has come on, and now she's focused more on structure, on the actual aesthetic side of it, and actually building the physique around. And that switched about 8 months ago when we drew into the structural phase. So honestly, when I opened that up today, I was not only surprised, but I was incredibly happy.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, so if I stopped as I am now, I am more than happy, because
Oh yeah,
I've, everything looks fine, doesn't it? But then of course you always want more, don't you? You always want to push, or well, perhaps not everybody, but there's always that what else can I do? What else can I do? So that's the next bit, everything's sort of coming together and looking tighter, and it's the next stage, isn't it, to push towards?
Yeah. And a woman of your tender age, coming up to her 60th birthday, it becomes doubly important. We're talking about aesthetics, and within TB community, within the body confidence method, yes, most people come to us for aesthetics, and people come to us at a very challenging time normally in their life, in and around above the age of 35, below the age of 60, where hormones have changed, things that used to work for them don't work anymore, their lives have changed, stress has come on, they don't have as much time, family, kids, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's also not only talking about the aesthetic side, it's about the longevity side. Like, I'm pretty sure, Beth, you are now healthier, fitter, and just feeling like you could pretty much go on forever.
Yeah. There was something that came on Instagram. This is probably digressing a bit, but it was, split. The next 10 years. How does your next 10 years look like? And you've got a 10-year. You've got somebody, say, my age, keeping up with kids, looking after the grandchildren, doing all the physical stuff, out walking, riding, and then you've got underneath the next 10 years of sedentary life, sitting watching the telly, doing nothing, and how those next 10 years are so important. Because I was the top one, me and Andrew, we're healthy, we're looking after ourselves, we're in a really good place, mentally, ready to take on the world at our age, not sit down on a chair. So yeah, it is really good. Yeah, I feel really, really great.
Have you honestly, think back to kind of where you were? Have you surprised yourself with how far you've come?
Yeah. It's not that I haven't exercised. I think after the first two children, there was 18 months between them, and then so then I got fit again and was in the gym doing the weights, nothing, with a notepad and pen and doing it as I whatever exercises, that was how it was. But I mean, I suppose I did get a fairly good shape at that point, because ladies would come up to me and say, "Oh, what are you doing?" So I guess I've been able to put a bit of muscle on over the time, and they want to know, and then I tell them, but nobody ever really stuck with it. I think it's the continuity, isn't it, and the just keep on going, and then life, pregnancy, moving house, etc. So then I go back down again, and then probably stop there for a number of years, but never have I been in probably this shape throughout the whole time, up and down.
And I think the most important thing is being able to maintain it and learning the core principles and disciplines. Like, this is what I'd love to, another question to kind of float to you, Beth. Like, you've lost weight before, you've got in shape before, you've pretty much always trained pretty much consistently for quite a while now. What one or two things really clicked when you joined TB Community on the body confidence method that basically made going from you prior training and stuff like that to now actually seeing weekly and monthly results?
So I suppose it's the just doing what you can when you can. You can't, because for those first few months, they were really difficult because I'd actually got 2 jobs at one point because I was finishing the one job, starting a new job that was then going to be less stressful for me. So then I was trying to do the training program you'd set. And then that was all new. And I'm heavy and, not liking me and myself. And in the new house, well, no, we'd been there a year then. So it was a struggle to keep going. But I think because I needed somebody to answer to, and the program was there, I think I sort of, I kept going. I wanted to do it. So yeah, those first few months it was hard. And I think when I went in to train, so you do a warm up. So in my head, I got to do all the complete warm up and then all the complete training. Now I probably pick and choose what I'm warming up and sort of warm up as I go. So it isn't such a 2.5 hour sort of session. It can be, but so trying to manage that and fit it in was hard. So at any point I could have gone, oh no, this is too much, this is, and especially as we started. I mean, if you think about when we started just before sort of Christmas time, I think, or it was in the process of being set up just before then. With 2 jobs, it probably wasn't ideal, was it? There was more stress added. But maybe, well, it worked, so it doesn't matter. But so I finished the one job, went to just do the one job, less stressful, less hours. And then sort of, I guess in the new year, once Christmas had passed, I got into a sort of routine. I was, got to grips with the app and knew what sort of training was going to come, and then was seeing sort of slight increments with weight and was it that soon though? Because it was almost like a light bulb. It was almost like it wasn't happening. Keep going. And then I remember I'd run out of gym kit, all the baggy trousers and stuff, and I'd put a pair of tights on and I'd walk towards the gym, which has got a glass door. And as I was walking towards the gym, I sort of looked and did a double take and thought, is that my legs? Are those my legs? And I actually walked back forward again, going, those are my legs. And I hadn't looked, I'd been wearing the same kit, baggy, put a pair of tights on and saw, wow. That was another moment where I thought, oh my God, that's my legs.
So it was almost like you didn't even realize the progress you were making until you actually saw it in a reflection that you thought was the person behind you.
I mean, it was those moments, and to walk backwards, and I thought, I hope nobody's looking, and then to walk, and it was sort of, that was another moment where I thought, yes, this is worth pursuing. I can see the difference.
100%. So what's the thing you most love about being in TB Community and working with us?
I think there's loads of social media. The app's great. You put all the training on there. So if I'm struggling with an exercise, I can go and sort of have a look at how I need to tweak it or do it. And Emily's good with her mindset, motivation stuff. She's lovely. That's Katie, sorry, Emily.
Emily's nutritional psychologist.
Yeah,
Katie's our in-house therapist.
Yeah, but they're all there to help, and you're there to help. And if there's any questions, everybody's happy to help. It's one big sort of happy family, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. I always remember a comment that you say, Beth, in terms of because Beth, she hardly ever messages. We've got a great WhatsApp community. A lot of people message. We post Katie posts all her trainings. Emily posts all her trainings. I post all my trainings. It's pretty lively in terms of the back and forth. But I was like, yeah, Beth hardly ever messaged. But then asking her, she was like, well, everyone asks the questions that I need the answers to anyway, so I never need to message. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
done deal.
Yeah.
That's just tick on the box.
I mean,
Absolute
it's like
success.
no question is a silly question, is it? But then if I sort of think about something, or well, I'm not sure about that. 99%, there's a question or it's been answered, or somebody then comes up and answers it as anyway. So yeah, so it's all one big supportive community.
100%. And a question on that: how, what are a few kind of standouts, and what do you love most? And how much do you enjoy the element of being part of TB community, like the community element of it? How important is that to you?
Yeah, I think it's really, really important, because you're not sort of alone. I'm not alone just with you as a trainer. There's other ladies and women in the group that are sort of there to help support as well. And even if I don't contribute so much, I'm always listening and watching and taking it all in. So yeah, it's not my thing, but I know everybody's there for each other. And if I wanted to message Laura or Jess or whoever on there, it would be, they'd be fine. They'd be great. They
100%.
yeah, they
I think it's about having having multiple avenues. I mean, obviously, all of you in the community have your own coach, and that's always the first point of contact. But having that ability to just throw things around, and having that WhatsApp community of people messaging similar people, like, a throwback to, again, a lot of the times when we get new people, new women joining, they are nervous, they are apprehensive, they don't want to put themselves out there too much. They've already made a significant kind of commitment that they thought they'd never be able to do. And then now, with the thought of like the overwhelm of having to message people and put themselves out there on the app, doesn't normally happen. But when they start to see it happen, when they start to see other people doing it, when they start to see people that have been, especially like this podcast, someone who has been in exactly the same position as they currently are, that's really helps. Ultimately, it makes our process and, bringing them in the onboarding process a lot easier. So, it's massively important for us to have, clients that have been with us, had their transformation through the initial 100 days, a year down the line, 2 years down the line, speaking about their story, just like you, Beth. So I just want to say a massive thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Anything else you want to add in before we close it off?
And no, I think as long as we've covered everything you'd like to cover.
Yeah. No, you covered everything. The biggest things were just speaking from the heart, like where you were. Like the most important thing for me in terms of like people listening are exactly that they want to know where you were, because they're going to see you now thinking, she's in great shape. She trains all the time, like she trains with her husband, like she's all active and stuff like that. But they have no idea where you started. They had no idea that kind of dark process of what led you to reach out for help. So that's the main thing we want to kind of get across, and you did that perfectly. So I just want to say thank you so much, Beth, again, for coming on the podcast. I hope to see you again, but I shall speak to you within the community. But for now, Beth, thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
It's a pleasure. Bye.